Sorry for the cut of the internet.
Yeah, that's fine. Back again now. The same question,
Yeah.
how can one be polite? Could you please answer this question?
Yes.
Yeah.
There are certain strategies or certain to be politeness, to be polite, sorry, through using linguistic features or linguistic words. For example, when we say the word please, it is a polite word. And there are two phases in the politeness theory that are proposed by Brown and Levinson, which are negative phase and positive phase.
Yes.
Negative phase is the need to be independent and free from imposition. It is the want of every competent adult member of a community that their action be unembedded by others. Negative phase is the act of informal act with others. Positive phase, on the other hand, is the need to be connected, to belong, or to be a member of a group. It is the want of every member that there wants to desirable to at least some with some others.
Okay, Hassan. Sorry for interruption. What about others? Arij, how could one be polite, for instance? The question is politeness a virtue?
No, sometimes it cannot be. Sometimes people cannot be polite in certain situations when they are enraged. Sometimes when they are furious, they lose their control upon their sometimes deeds or speeches. So politeness.
You want to say that good manners prepare us for good deeds. So politeness is not a virtue. It's simply following rules without requiring any moral judgment here. And the essence of politeness is form. The essence of virtue is character. It's what we believe in, right?
Yes. And politeness is conditioned by culture norms also. It varies in different culture situations. And some common norms are shared in cultures, which are can be general or general norms like gender difference, age difference. When you speak to out group people or in group people, when you address some participants you are in relation with or you are in familiarity with, and social position also when you address your relatives, also educational level are all strategies or are all norms that can condition our polite behavior. Also, they use how to people encode their politeness in terms of how they express their politeness. It depends on the term of disagreement. This disagreement means that the speaker, when he evaluates or confirms to social prescribed norms that exist in his society, there are certain norms to be followed in societies. There are religious norms, there are tradition norms. Those norms, every individual has to be aware of. They are prescribed norms and not to be to have his own choice to follow or not follow these norms. So,
yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Now the question is,
can I speak?
Who's Ali?
Yes.
Yeah, Ali, the floor is yours, please. Come
on. Okay. There are strategies we are used to show our face, whether negative or positive. Positive politeness is to save our face this concern is to maintain the hero face in communication, like attending to the hero interest, need, and want. The hero try to show optimistics also help the hero to save a positive face, such as I try to help him, I try to adore him, I try to encourage him, I try to be positive, optimistic. شلون ما نقول دكتور بالعربي يعني يحاول يشجعه، يقول له انت مثلا تقدر تسوي، انه انت خوش ولد، مثل يقول له شوف هذا الانسان
Okay,
دائما
yeah, that's
متفائل
true.
دائما. Negative politeness is
Is this positive politeness strategy or negative one?
لا, this positive. We
Okay.
are going to explain negative.
No. Just the question is, Ali, that's really good point. In sociolinguistics and the process of conversation analysis, politeness strategies are described as speech acts that express concern for others, minimize threats to save your face in particular social and interactional contexts. So the question is, could you please just list the positive politeness strategies so briefly? عندنا استراتيجيات positive politeness, what are they?
Yes, we avoid to a question, avoid direct question, avoid use the imperative, or avoid to use avoid to use insult.
Okay, the question is, why do people use positive politeness strategies? What's the magic? What's the secret behind this?
Yes, to be an acceptable person, to be an beloved person, to be a good person.
Okay. Well, thank you. Let's now move to one of you. Who's with us? Maybe Rich can answer this question. Why do we use positive strategies, politeness strategies?
We use politeness strategies as a certain type of ritual.
Are you still with us? Rich? All right. Who's next? I think she has a problem. Hassan?
Yes, Doctor.
Could you please talk about, the question is why, as to why we use positive politeness strategies? For what? For what reason?
To be positive politeness strategies, to belong or to be a member of the group, to be attractive person, to be interactive with person with others.
Okay. In fact, the positive strategies are used to avoid giving offense by highlighting friendliness, right? These strategies include what? Like what, for instance?
For example, the face-saving act that deals with positive face provides a solidarity and draws attention to.
I totally agree with you, but I need these. I need you just to mention these strategies. I'll give you some examples. These positive politeness strategies include, but not limited to, criticism with compliments. Okay. For instance, we use jokes, nicknames. For instance, we use tag questions. We use special markers like when you say please, kindly, all right, and so on and so forth. These are the common positive politeness strategies used.
The positions.
Depending on the culture and depending on the situation of the conversation.
Yeah.
in the sense that politeness is different from one culture to another.
Of course, it's cultural. Yeah, sensitive.
If, for example, an individual from informal society, when he said, "Give me this car," or "Give me your car," in a society that's formal, this individual is considered as impolite person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what might be considered as impolite might not be, yani in one culture might not be in another culture, right?
Because there is no relation between this individual and the community. He is a stranger.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you so much. And in terms of negative politeness strategies, and negative strategies are used to avoid giving offense by showing difference. These strategies include like questioning, hedging, and presenting disagreements as opinions, right? Can you give me some examples of this?
Use indirect question and use and by minimizing the imposition and never use apologize, such as give me this book, give me this, and speak with an respectable way, just as a direct image, give me this, and not use an implying image, and don't use indirect message. It just use with the direct, as we have a more social power like the other person, as he have as he from the high state, and he speak with the low state or lower high and lower class. When in negative politeness, the person through communication seek to impose other person to use something and use the direct message, and don't use an implied message, and don't use apologize, and don't use and he use question, and don't use a respectable way, don't use a politeness way, just as could you give me this? No, it's give me this is used direct message. give me this يعني شلون دكتور بالعربي نقول يعني يعطي نظرة تعالي، انه كأنه اعلى من المقابل، او كأنه عنده سلطة اعلى. شلون تكون يعني نحاول شلون his own case is threatened and is neglected by and avoided by and avoid from different person and different and he characterized by have is little number of friends, and not use communication, and don't speak with other, and just speak with the same class, and don't speak with the low class.
Well, thank you so much, Dean. Nada, now, could you please just elaborate on what's called the face theory, the politeness theory?
Politeness theory proceeds by Beyond, Boren, and Stephen. Constarts on even. Can you explain? Can you again? Sorry, question.
Okay, I just okay, just keep going, please. Okay, talk. Whatever you want.
No. Negative face.
No. Just tell me about the face theory in the politeness theory.
Politeness theory. Okay, Doctor. Now, politeness in the forward to the politeness in language is studied to include our general understanding of social order and human cooperation within society.
Yeah.
Now, politeness theory face is relieved as the social concept of face, safe face or lost face, to discuss politeness as a response to molting avoid face acts such as request or insult.
Okay, another, according to Brown and Levinson, they have
Yeah.
created what's called the face threatening acts. So could you please tell me about this concept, face threatening act?
Okay. Okay. Just 1 minute. Face act.
Face threatening act. What is it? According to their theory. Hassan, could you please elaborate on this, please?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
According to Brown and Levinson, the term face is a public self-image that every member wants to claim for himself.
Yeah.
And politeness deals with a speech act. In the sense that there are a face-saving act and other act I don't remember it. But the face-saving act deals with either to deal with negative face or to positive face. When it deals with negative face, will show concerns about imposition. For example, I'm sorry, my brother, and you know you are busy, but this means that the speaker and the hearer, there is different levels between them.
Yeah.
For example, the levels between student and teacher, or the son and father. When the son talk with his father, or the student talk with his teacher, or the employee talk with his master in the work, he used negative face.
Yeah.
And the face saving act that deals with positive face, on the other hand, provides solidarity and draw attention to the common goal. For example, let's do this together. You and I have the same problem. So here, the level of the participants, the speaker and listener, the same level. They are at the same level.
Okay, great. What about you, Ali?
Yes, Doctor. Politeness is related to communication. Communication may happen with the teacher and the student, between a friend, between father and his student, and his son. The conversation is different from one to another person. When we speak with our friend, we use our setting image, just as use the imposition, such as use question, but this not affect on our self image, because our friend is not our image, is not what we refer. But when we speak with stranger people, we should show our positive image, our positive face, because they don't know us. They don't know where they do not know what our self-image, or they do not know what our fear, what our intention, what our need. So in this cases, we should use our our positive image, and don't use indirect image, and don't use negative image. And
Okay, Ali.
in order to give an positive image and positive public image for the another people. And so in the case when we speak with our boss, with our teachers, in this case also we use our positive face because there is different level between person and his teacher. And
Okay,
in
Ali.
this case,
Thank you.
yes,
Thank you very much indeed, because we have people waiting, people on the list. Hiyam, welcome. Are you now on or off? Are you still on?
No, yes, I'm still
Finally,
on.
welcome. So I
Yeah,
just
finally. I've been trying to connect since 8:15.
okay. Well, thank you so much indeed. No problem.
Thank you,
We
thank
have
you, thank you.
to in fact to argue. Anyway, could you please tell us something about? There are many things in fact missed, and I would ask you to tell me something about the politeness theory generated by Brown and Lewis in 1978. So, anything to say about this, please? Leon,
Hello, yes?
do you copy? So,
No, the volume is disconnected.
okay, now, we have discussed many issues related to
Yes.
the politeness theory generated by Brown and Lewis in 1978. So, can you just say something about the politeness theory and politeness theory? It's
Yes.
politeness theory is based
The
around
theory of politeness,
Yes.
it's what was proposed by, I think you already mentioned it, by Stevens and Brown, in order to show how people interact with each other, to show the variety between people, how to use language, how to use their first expression. They want to show the difference in politeness, not in just as the term politeness means the intimacy or the respect manner, but also to mean the other side of politeness, which is unpoliteness. So they said that there is two approaches to the theory of politeness, which they call it positive politeness strategies and negative politeness strategies. Through the face expression, the notion of face as they mentioned them, or as they terminalize it, that can show when you talk to addressees, is this in a polite way, in intimacy way, you are friendly, or you are acting as an enemy, so as you happy, or are you angry, and so on.
Well, thank you so much, Dave. So, do you know something about the politeness strategies? What are the politeness strategies used for?
Yes, as I said, there is the two dominant strategies, which are positive politeness and negative politeness. The positive politeness that attend to the hearer when he wants to express his need or avoid disagreement, or want to express his opinion. Negative politeness may reflect threats, or may reflect feeling sorry or apologize, may reflect forgiveness. The notion face was emphasized by these two scholars, which is Stevens and Brown, to indicate that face is the central issues and the central point in the theory of politeness. And it is studied by all the strategies of politeness.
Well, thank you so much. And you know, there are many questions that need answers, not basically immediate answers. We don't have magical answers at all, but we need also to think more about this. So let me just give you a brief summary about this. So we started our session with the question of politeness. How can one be polite? What's the difference between politeness and impoliteness? And there are many questions related to this idea. So we started with a common theory known simply as politeness theory, developed and put forth in the 1970s and 1980s by two researchers at Stanford University. Basically, they are Brown and Levinson. They drew heavily from face theory, advancing face theory in the direction of politeness. In their research, they started exploring the ideas of face put forth by Goffman in 1950s and expanded on his theory, specifically with attention to politeness. Politeness in this sense assumes that all of us have face, and we all have face wants and needs. Moreover, there are different types of face threatened in various face threatening acts. Sometimes the face threats are to the hearer, while at other times they are a threat to the speaker. And we've got many sociological variables that come into play when we consider face threatening act. So politeness theory, in short, relies on the idea that there are different kinds of face. You have just stipulated that there are positive and negative faces. The positive face reflects on an individual's need for his or her wishes and desires to be appreciated in a certain social context. And the negative face, on the other hand, reflects an individual's need for freedom of action, freedom from imposition, and the right to make one's own decisions. Putting together these types of face respect the face needs covered previously, which include an individual's face needs for autonomy and competence. So this theory basically relies on the assumption that most speech acts threaten either the speaker or the hearer's face, and that politeness is therefore a necessary component, is let's say an indispensable form of an offensive act, and non-face threatening communication involves the redressing of positive and negative face. Great. So I will give you some minutes, just maybe 5 to 6 minutes, just to ask questions, to share ideas with your peers, and give examples from our context. You know that the politeness theory, something related to the pragmatic aspect as major fields in linguistics. So we have 9 minutes, in fact, to finish our session. All right? We are forced, in fact. طبعا احنا مجبرين لانه بعد 9 دقائق حسب البرنامج. زين. Any questions, please, just to ask your colleagues or share ideas. So the floor is yours.
Yes, I have a comment to have, since I've come late, so I have to come up with some ideas.
Yes, please.
That concerning politeness terminologies and the term that used since the medieval time for the two asymmetries terms T and V, which indicates to and vu, T used as you and they, reflects the formality and reflect the politeness. Two for formality, to use informal speech between friends, family members, when there is intimacy, and vu to indicate some high prestigious and high degree of respect, and to addresses the counterpart or the person in front of you with a plural pronoun, and this can be reflects to our Iraqi context by when we addressing something in higher class, like a manager or like a father or like a triple post or something. We said حضرتكم, جنابكم, and he is in a single person.
Okay. Well, thank you so much indeed. I also need to save time. Beside saving face, you know, I have to give some space to the colleagues. Thank you so much. Who raised his hand? من رفع ايده هنا علي?
Yes.
Yes, please, Ali, go ahead.
Doctor, I want to give example from our society.
Yeah.
The person who has money, he show the exciting taste because he believe that he don't need anyone, don't has anything because he has money, he has car, he has house, and don't need any person, and try to speak with a more unexpectable way, and use the indirect way, and speak as he come from a high classes, and speak with the low class, and has more social power than other person. But the person who don't has money is show a positive face because he want to interact between other people, because he need other person, he need something, he need something, he need to work, he need to show some need he want.
Okay, thank you so much, Ali. Who else, please?
Doctor, in brief, I think the person.
Ali, please, time is running. الوقت جاي يمر علينا فعندي بس 6 دقائق.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, thank you so much, Ali. I will just compensate for that. أعوضك إن شاء الله عن هذا. Oh, okay, who else?
Thank you, doctor.
Yes.
Okay, just one more thing. I would like just to add what's called the politeness maxims. According to Jeffrey Leach, there is a politeness principle with some conversational maxims similar to those formulated by Paul Grice. He lists actually 6 maxims. Do you know something about this?
Can I speak, doctor?
Yes.
There is social maxims, there's conversational maxims, there is face saving, there is a conversational contract, and this is called the maxims of.
Okay, we might discuss this on the next session. In fact, because
doctor, guys introduce 2 maxims of conversation: quantity, quality, manner, and relation. Quantity do not say more than I know. Do not be too much or too less. Quality is say what I believe is true, and manner is use our style, and manner is be more clear and more clear to other person. But
okay, well,
yes, and related to relation, our topics should have relation. Do not speak about something not related to our topics. Just as when I speak about university,
okay,
I do not shift to another topics, but should I speak about this topics and do not shift to another topics.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ali. The politeness principle is takes a wide-ranging scale of ideas and deep-rooted, let's say, expressions. And I would like just to, maybe in the next session, we would like to talk about the politeness principle in English and Arabic, since we are, okay, since we are Arabic, you know, and we speak Arabic, so we'd like just to have an example. نحب ناخذ مثال بسيط يعني ما بين politeness حسب النظريه اللي جاء بها براون and Levinson. Maybe next session we will talk about this. Let's suppose that we will take into consideration the politeness principle or the politeness theory between English and Arabic, a comparative study. خلينا ناخذ هذا كمثال إن شاء الله. Okay?
إن شاء الله.
Okay. Any concluding remarks, please? We have less than 3 minutes.
Okay.
Dr.
Do I miss something? Since I
Yeah,
have
yeah, Arij, because you've been away for some time, so could you please say briefly?
Yes, we can say that politeness theory constitutes a very prominent role, we can say, in our daily life interaction, since it draws the lines for us as how to be polite, how to avoid be offensive to others, how to highlight friendliness with others, how to avoid being rude to others. Also, I think nowadays, under the 19 lockdown, the social distance varieties that have been grown in these days, I think it will be have many effects on the future interaction between people when they are under some principles nowadays, I think. So
Yeah,
it will
okay.
be
I completely agree with you. That's right.
yeah.
All right. And
Okay. Also in the interaction on the internet and virtual platforms, it has its own norms. It has its own norms of politeness that are different from the norms of real life. And these norms have been proposed in the computer-mediated discourse, politeness of this discourse.
okay.
Since the internet context or online context is a special context of
Arij,
interaction. Different.
well, Arij, I'm sorry for interruption. Thank you so much indeed, because we have less than a minute. I would like to conclude this session. Thank you very much indeed for your time and for joining this session. So our next session will be on politeness theory, English and Arabic as an example. So I expect all of you to be on the next session. Thank you very much indeed, and goodbye. Good night.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Good night.
Goodbye and
Thank you.
good night.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.